Alright everybody, hello, it's Jeff and welcome back to another shower vlog. Don't let anybody ever tell you it's not okay to have a little bit of wine in the shower. It just makes the shower a little bit more relaxing. So anyways, on today's episode of Shower Vlog, we're actually going to continue just like last time and do some more pet peeves. Let's start out with a pet peeve about theft. Package theft, to be exact, especially off people's porches. And no, this is probably not where you think it's going. As much as I do hate people who steal packages, that's not what actually this pet peeve is about. This pet peeve is more about if you're going to have the gall and audacity to go up to somebody else's front door and steal their packages, do two things for me. One, don't make a mess. Two, shut the goddamn gate when you leave. Nothing adds insult to injury more than when you come home to find out you've had a package stolen that not only is your gate wide open blocking the sidewalk, so everybody who passes by is getting mad at you thinking that you're an asshole because you just leave your gate open, but you have packing tape, peanuts, packing material just thrown all over your lawn. Like, it's bad enough that you stole what was mine and couldn't just work for yourself and get your own whatever it was. You have no idea what you're getting. What is the point of going up and stealing random packages? What are you hoping for? Do you really think you're going to open up a package and it's going to be $1 million sitting in there? I don't understand what the point of taking the risk to get a package, steal it from somebody else's porch when you don't even know the contents of it. That just makes no sense to me. But hey, at least we have companies out there who for the most part do good reimbursements for packages when they get stolen, so it doesn't usually actually affect me as a consumer too much, just more of a time delay and a hassle. What does affect me though is be courteous to the rest of my property. The stuff is still going to be there. Don't make a mess in my lawn and shut the gate for the love of God. Shut the goddamn gate when you leave. Another major pet peeve of mine is about commitment. And what I mean by commitment is when somebody asks a blanket statement to a group of people and says, hey, can anybody help me this weekend? Like, can you help me move this weekend? I need help moving a big couch, or I need help moving out of my house to another apartment. If somebody's asking you for help and they're asking like a big group of people, don't respond back with maybe. It's 10 times better to respond back with no, yes, or nothing at all if you don't know. The second you tell somebody maybe, you're going to get that person's hopes up that you're going to actually be able to help. And if you actually can't or have no intentions of helping, all you did was really make that person not look as hard for somebody else because you were kind of maybe in there, and they might now be out of luck. Yeah, sure, they should have made sure they found people who are going to commit and people who actually said yes and don't count on people who said maybe, but there's no point in just saying maybe when asked, unless you're asked directly. If somebody came up to you and said, hey, Jeff, can you help me this weekend? And I really didn't know, and I said, you know what, maybe I have to look at my schedule. If they were asking me directly, that's one thing. But if it was like a blanket email to like a group of friends and said, or a big text message and said, hey everybody, I'm moving this weekend, can anybody help? There's no point in responding maybe to that message. We have, at the fire department, this actually happens all the time, we have need for engine officers and engine drivers multiple days of the week. We have one person who consistently responds back whenever I say, hey, we need an engine driver on this Monday. Can anybody help? He constantly texts me and says, yeah, maybe I'll help. Hardly ever does this person actually come help, but every single time he tells me maybe. And then it's funny because when he actually does come in and help, and I've already lined up other coverage, he gets upset with me because he's like, wait, you told me you needed help. Why didn't you let me know you had somebody cover? And it's like, because you never told me you were actually coming in to cover. I mean, let me show you this message. Let me show you this message. Look, hopefully you guys can see that, but right up here, this is 2 different days we're talking about here. I had sent out for coverage, and he said, hey, this is the day of. He said, hey, you still need somebody? My response was, yeah. Never heard from him again. What was the point? Then, this is another day here. I asked if anybody could help, and he texted me, and he said, if I can get somebody to cover his Tuesday, because he rides Tuesdays, lock it in. And I said, so you found somebody for Tuesday? And he said, no. And I said, so I'm locking in a maybe? Yeah. Those type of responses piss me off the most, because you want me to lock in a maybe? That baffles me. That baffles me, and it really messes up my scheduling and trying to get people to cover things. Have commitment or don't have commitment. Or have commitment as a yes or a no. Don't have commitment as a maybe. That's a real big pet peeve of mine. So stop, just tell people yes, no, or don't say a goddamn thing. Sometimes you get a little bit of shampoo in your wine. Still tastes good. Another pet peeve of mine is unclear directions. And I'm not talking about, like, obviously you're gonna get unclear directions from somebody. Somebody's gonna say something that they think makes sense, and you're gonna sit there and be like, that doesn't really make sense, those directions aren't clear to me. That happens in life. You have to kind of accept that, ask for clarification, figure out what you need to do. I'm more talking about companies when they have a policy or directions that they expect you to fulfill without really having the ability to ask questions back and forth. And they're really not clear or not full, and you find out there was really more that you were supposed to have ready or to do when you goes to actually getting this done. For example, I recently had to return one of my DirecTV boxes. It had gone bad, they sent me a new one, and what they said on the phone is, we will send you a self-addressed stamped envelope. Well, they didn't say self-addressed stamped envelope. What they said on the phone is, we'll send you a FedEx return slip, and you can just put it back in the box, throw the return slip on it, ship it in the FedEx box, and you'll be good to go. So I get the package in, and actually the directions in the package said, you can either use the enclosed FedEx return slip, or you can take it directly to a FedEx place, and what they can do now is they have this new system. You don't even need to box it up if that's the case. You can put it in a bag, walk it to the door, the FedEx people will scan the barcode on the back of the product, it will automatically register it to my account, and mark it as returned right then, and I don't have to worry about the hassle of it getting, like, if it gets lost in the mail or something like that, I'm not responsible for it anymore because they already marked it as returned. Problem is, I have a lot of FedEx drops around me. I have a FedEx drop directly in my workplace, which makes it easy. I don't have a FedEx location that's easily accessible to me. And when I got this box, it said you can either do this or this, use the enclosed return label, or take it to the FedEx location. There was no enclosed return label. So I call them up and I said, hey, look, I'm looking for this return label. It said it was going to be in the box. And the guy looks in the system for a while and he says, oh, you know what, we'll actually send you a return label within 14 days. I said, okay, that's fine. About 2 weeks later, about 14 days later, I get an envelope in the mail. All this is an envelope that says, you still need to return your equipment. Here's the directions on how to do it. And it no longer talks about a return label. Now it's saying I have to take it directly to the FedEx drop location. So I say, fine, whatever. I'll put it in a box, I'll take it to the FedEx drop location, I'll just make time in my day to make sure I can go out and do this, which, you know, it's another pet peeve of mine. Why are things closed after normal business hours? You know, if I want to go get my oil changed and at 5 o'clock the oil change place closes, do they really expect that everybody's getting their oil changed during the day? No, most people work during normal business hours, and they would want to be open later to catch people after work, but that's a whole different thing right there. So anyways, I find time to get to a FedEx place, walk in the door with the box, with the instructions. I said, I've never done this before. This is what it says to do. Here's this box. Here's the return instructions. Take care of it. For one, she didn't know how to do it either. That's okay though. It's a new process. She had to look it up, get instructions on how to do it. And then she says, okay, sir, I need your account number. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize I had to bring my account number. I don't really just keep my DirecTV account number with me. And she goes, well, yeah, obviously I can't return it without your account number. I said, the directions clearly say, all you have to do is scan that barcode and they'll take care of it. She goes, yeah, I can't scan it until you give me your account number. So, not that it was that big of a deal. Luckily, I just pulled out my phone, scrolled through some email. I actually had to log into my DirecTV account, I think, to actually find the account number, but I found it in a relatively quick time frame, and the rest of the transaction went pretty smoothly. But had they said, and I reread the instructions, it said nowhere in there that I need to give them my information. It said straight up, bring this, you scan it, everything, or they will scan it, everything is taken care of. So that's what I was going in expecting to do. The whole thing ended up taking about 20 or 25 minutes because, for one, she didn't know what she was doing. She was looking up instructions. And when I said I had to get my account number, she said, okay, I'm going to go do some shelf stocking or something like that. Let me know when you found it and you're ready. So she walked away, and then relatively quickly I said, oh, I'm ready. And she goes, okay, let me finish what I'm dealing with now. So it extended the whole thing. But that's just one of those other things that it's upsetting. Make your directions clear. If you want me to take it to the FedEx location, don't tell me there's an option to send a return label, a return slip that I can use, especially if you're not going to send it. And for two, if you need me to show up with account information ready, I easily could have done that had I known up front. But the return instructions you gave me, you could just even have them printed on my account information, printed on the return instructions because it was specific, addressed to me. You just didn't put my account number on there. Make it easy for the customer and make it clear for the customer so the transactions can happen much more smoothly. Well, anyways, guys, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of Shower Vlog. More pet peeves, a little bit of wine drinking, and a little bit of enjoyment. So, anyways, guys, stay tuned for the next shower vlog. Let me know what your pet peeves are down in the comments, and maybe I'll even make a shower vlog number 3 of pet peeves and feature your pet peeves in the next shower vlog. So, until next time, guys, take care, enjoy.